Hi! Hello from the car! We're back! This is still Matt.
And this is still Katie, and this is Movies and Mischief with Matt-n-Katy. Welcome back to the channel for those of you that have subscribed, especially all our new subscribers. Thumbs up, guys. You may notice something a little different, as Katie said. We're in the car. So over the next year or so, there's going to be certain movies that Katie and I either can't wait until it's streaming on one of the services, or we think it's a movie that deserves to be seen in that movie theater setting. The big screen, the sound system, the snacks, all that stuff. In those cases, so that we can stay true to the theme or the what our channel's all about, in order to give you our unprepared, unfiltered, immediate reaction to the film, we will be doing them in the car.
Which is what we used to do
way back
before the pandemic, when we were coming to movies all the time. We would do them from the car very frequently, more often than not.
Yeah, so we'll either be doing them while we're driving home, but more than likely we'll be doing them while we're sitting in the parking lot, as we are now at our local Regal Stadium. This is the first movie we've seen in theaters since February.
17 months.
17 months, and I believe that movie was 1917 or somewhere around there.
We saw two that day. It was a good day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
But yes, 1917 was the second one we saw that day.
So let's take a moment, and I'm going to show you the video for the movie that we're going to talk to you about tonight.
O greatest of kings, let one of your knights try to land a blow against me. Indulge me in this game.
I will meet thee.
One year hence.
So tonight we're going to talk to you about The Green Knight. This is a movie that I have been impatiently waiting for ever since we first saw the trailers for it in theaters, probably 17 months ago. This is one of the many films that was affected by the pandemic. It stars Patel, Joel Edgerton, Alicia Vikander. Vikander, sorry.
Sarita Choudhury. I'm probably butchering that. I've never actually heard her name said out loud.
And then a couple other faces you recognize. One in particular from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So this...
She'll never get a break.
No. So this movie is a loose adaptation of the poem The Green Knight, which nobody really knows who wrote. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Nobody knows who wrote it. I know Tolkien did a translation of it in the 30s or 40s or whatever, but nobody knows who wrote the original poem.
It's one of those like Beowulf that's just been around forever.
Yeah. I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't really know how to explain the poem. All I can tell you is that on Christmas, the Green Knight shows up to Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and he puts down a challenge. He says, any one of your knights who can land a blow on me, step forward, and then if they can land that blow in 1 year from this time, I'm going to get the same opportunity to land a blow on you. And Gawain is the only one who steps forward to do that. And then we see his journey to finish the game with the Green Knight. And that's all I'm going to say. Katie, what'd you think?
This movie's almost 3 hours long, and I feel like it could have been 2 hours long. There were long stretches of nothing. There were long stretches of here he's just riding horse down the road for no apparent reason. Here's a long stretch of views of the sky for no apparent reason. When the story was happening, I was interested in it, but it just felt like it's a 6-day journey between where he lives and where he's going to meet the Green Knight. And it felt like 6 days. It took forever. I also feel like a lot of this it feels like this movie was made by somebody who knows the Arthurian legend and all of the chivalric poems surrounding that inside and out, and kind of forgot they were making a movie for people who maybe don't. Because there was a lot that happened that I just was kind of like, I do not understand what I just saw. There are groups of people that he meets. He meets a group of people, then a person, then a group, and then there's this random, bizarre group of people that he meets, has a momentary interaction with them, and then they're gone, and I don't know what it was about. It was just random. There's a lot of mysticism. There's a lot of magic in this, like hardcore magic in this, and it just missed me. I don't know how I feel about it. I liked parts of it very, very much. And there is a monologue that Alicia Vikander does in this. I cannot imagine a human being doing it any better. It was captivating. Mm-hmm. Totally worth it for me. Mm-hmm. And I adore Dev Patel. I think he is so charismatic and just draws the focus as he should. But I don't know. I can't say I actually liked it on the whole, because there was so much that just felt what to me.
Really?
Yeah, I know you have a totally different reaction.
I do. I'm calling it right now. This is my favorite movie of the year so far. I absolutely love this movie. I get what you're saying about the long, drawn-out moments, but that's one of the things that the director, David Lowery, is so good at. He can tell the story without the need for dialogue or exposition. There's so many times in this movie where there is no dialogue.
Oh, there's 20 minutes at the end where there's not a word spoken.
But you see, at least for me, I could see what was happening.
No,
I could follow the story.
Yeah, at the end.
Even you had your say.
Yeah,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So even in the beginning, when Gawain first goes off, there's a lot of moments where he's just traveling and we're watching him. But even though there's no dialogue and no action, I could still follow along with what the story that was being told. Because a lot of times, here's the one thing, this is going to be a very polarizing movie. And I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of people are going to go into this expecting some typical epic Hollywood Arthurian movie. This is not Excalibur. This is not First Knight. This is not whatever that... This is not what you expect. This is a very slow, I think, artfully told story of an Arthurian legend. I absolutely loved this movie. I thought Dave Patel was fascinating in it. Yeah, I even enjoyed Joel Edgerton, and I'm not a Joel Edgerton fan.
Yeah.
And he was fabulous in this movie.
Agreed.
I think that I just loved visually. The sound design was amazing when the Green Knight was there.
Oh yeah,
it was
very cool,
fabulous. The music. I was sitting there. Like 10 minutes in, I was like, "Oh, I am getting this soundtrack on vinyl."
There's a lot of like madrigals being sung throughout. No, I didn't have any problem following the story as a whole. I still just feel like, and I wasn't expecting some swashbuckling thing.
Yeah.
I was okay with the slower pace. My only problem was times where it just felt like to me, the beginning of The Shining, the movie The Shining, where they're just driving up to the Overlook, and they're driving up to the Overlook, and they're driving up to the Overlook for what felt like 20 minutes. And it just felt like it had a lot of those moments to me where it's like... You can show him starting riding out on the horse. Show me in front of him how long he's got to go. I'll get it. Cool. Awesome. Don't make me watch him for 10 minutes just riding the horse and nothing is happening. That's the reason this felt like it was longer than it needed to be. I didn't
have that issue.
Not that it wasn't necessarily following the story. Now, there are parts of the story that, like I said, I don't get. And there are visual references. There are 2 different women in this who are blindfolded for part of it. One of them, I thought I understood what was happening, but then, because it has to do with the arrival of the Green Knight, I thought I understood it, but then it didn't make any sense to me why that person would be the one kind of calling him. And they make a reference about who the Green Knight is that I don't feel was ever resolved. In the very beginning, someone tells him something about the Knight that I must have totally missed it. The Green Knight looks amazing, and you are right. He sounds so cool.
Visually, this was just a beautiful.
But there is some super bad CGI with another animal. There's a horse in this that's an actual horse, and then there's another animal in this.
Really? You didn't?
That is not a real animal. One shot of it, I think, really was, but then later it plays a bigger part, and it just felt super like.
I didn't see that. I really
cringy.
There's not a lot of CGI in that I could tell.
No, it's really just the Knight and that one other animal.
Yeah,
I think.
See, even the Green Knight, I didn't notice a lot of CGI.
No,
with
he
him.
looked great.
Yeah.
His eyes were amazing. I didn't have any problem with him. But that's what I mean. It felt so unbalanced because he was very cool and the other thing was very not.
I absolutely love this movie. This is, as of right now, this is my favorite movie of the year. It was everything I hoped it would be going into it. But I can definitely understand your hesitation with it, and I get it. I get it. I think for some people watching this movie is probably going to be the equivalent of reading the original poem.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
There's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to make it all the way
This
through.
is a dense movie.
Yeah. And if it weren't for the acting in it, I'm not sure if I were watching this at home, if it was someone else, if it wasn't Dev Patel, if it wasn't Alicia doing what she does, if it wasn't Joel Edgerton just going to an 11 on this.
Yeah.
If it had been different actors, I would have been out very early.
I am definitely glad that we went and saw this in theaters, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't think watching it at home, even though I'm very happy with my TV and my sound system, which I've told Katie millions of times.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would have given it justice.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. If you're going to see it, definitely see it in the theater.
Yeah.
It needs that big scope for sure.
All right, so The Green Knight, I absolutely loved it. Katie's kind of
didn't so much. I really
she didn't really like it as much as I did.
Parts of it.
You got any final thoughts on this one?
Oh, my final thoughts are: there is magic everywhere you look. Sometimes you'll recognize it, sometimes you won't. Just believe that it's there. Accept it. Don't fight it. Who knows what you might encounter if you just allow it to happen. How about you?
Would somebody just give Dev an Oscar already? The guy's amazing. I mean, even Katie didn't like this, but she will tell you that he is riveting throughout this film.
This is 2 in a row we've seen with him where I've just been like, if it was anybody else, I would not have cared about this movie.
Yeah. So, there you go, guys. This is our first in-theater review of the year. Hopefully there'll be a couple more.
Because the power of Dev Patel compelled us.
Yeah. We braved the COVID masses for you guys.
We masked up and headed out.
There's a couple movies on my radar that I'd like to see in theater, so we may be doing this again, but
we'll see.
So yeah, on that note, we're going to let you guys go. I'm going to remind you to seek the positive in your life, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.